Thinking twice about pennies, their exponential growth, and the pattern. What's the central focus of this task? Students should be able to organize and consolidate their thinking by displaying some sort of chart or graph. Our students discovering that this will help them to build their new mathematical knowledge about exponential growth through problem solving and collaborating with one another. And this activity right here will make them think twice about pennies once they observe the exponential growth and discover the penny's value. The hook. How will I get them involved? How will I get them interested? Well, I will pose two questions to the students. I will first ask them, how many of you have ever walked past a penny in a parking lot or in a grocery store, in your own front yard, or on the street? And then I will ask them, how many of you have a piggy bank or know someone that has a piggy bank that saves pennies? That will really get them started. Then I will make sure that the students will have the necessary materials that's needed, that's required for this task. I will just explain to them the rules for working in pairs, and I will let them just begin. I will walk about the classroom, monitoring the students' progress and listen to their conversations. And when they pose questions, I will respond by posing questions back to them. How would I know that the students learn? Students learn by first trying to make sense of the problem. Students also learn by organizing their thoughts and using the appropriate mathematical tools, and I will make sure that those are available. Students learn by modeling with mathematics, and from the work that they present to me, I will be able to observe what they were able to do. Students learn by constructing viable arguments, both verbally and in written form. They'll ask themselves and me at times questions that poses each other to think and just may put them on the right track. What were the cognitive demands for this task? Well, first the students had to look for a pattern on the checkerboard. Then they had to create a table noting the pattern. Students were asked to determine how many pennies could be found on like the 12th square, the 15th square, the 25th square. Then the students had to do some calculations. How much money was on the 25th square? There were some conversions going on there. Students had to find the number of pennies on the 10th square. Then the students had to find the total number of pennies found on squares 1 through 9. Students had to write out a written explanation as why would have been difficult for them to stack the pennies found on square 25. Then students had to estimate the height of the stack formed by the number of pennies on the 25th square. So there were a lot of calculations going on. The students were allowed to use calculators, but they saw that even at a point, the calculators were somewhat of little use to them. Were there any changes that was made to the task? The only change that was made to the task was the rubric. Instead of giving each group a copy of the rubric, there were two posted in the rear of the class, and there was one posted in the front of the class. They were visible because they were made poster size. And the students were interested in knowing how they were going to be graded and so forth. And someone from their group did get up from time to time to go and check it out, to go and see exactly what it was that they needed to do correctly and so forth. So posting them in the classroom worked out just fine.